What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XCN today, OnyxCoin. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. Here we are, sitting at about 1.5 cents right now. Looking at this on a daily time frame, we are really close to the oversold zone, and it's not looking like we're going to get there, my friends. I think we have found the low. I think I said that in this morning's video, or maybe it was last night's video, or both of them, whatever. But we're at these areas in the RSI where we have found support historically throughout the past like 6 months or so, or even more than that. Even beyond that, going back in time, we found support here a couple times, found support there, resistance, support for a time here before getting into the oversold zone and then even getting lower. But it's somewhat of a significant area, whether it's support or resistance that you're finding. You know, hold on, guys, hold on. I don't know why my camera is so jacked today. I don't know. I blame technology. That's what I blame. Let's see here. So if we're looking at this thing on a 4-hour time frame, it seems as though we have a relatively bearish RSI, holding below the 60 time and time again, getting into the oversold zone time and time again with no life in the overbought zone at all. Very bearish circumstances. What's nice about this bearish circumstance is at the end of it, there's a little light. We got this bullish divergence here, which I think we're seeing now, right? Technically, this bullish divergence only calls for a move right to here. And we're basically there. Statistically speaking, I would say that we have a higher chance of not stopping here and going lower, but actually going through it, and then maybe we correct, find a little higher low, and then we can move up higher. But all in all, I would think that this move doesn't stop until, let's just see, from a high there to a low right here. I would think that, yeah, we probably go, a little bit higher. If not, maybe we go as high as 1.66, 1.62 cents, but somewhere between essentially right where we're at now, just a little bit higher, or something up here. I would expect that we find resistance in this area, and then depending on where we go, we'll find a higher low. So 382 down to the 236, very common to do. Golden ratio down to the 0.5, down to the 382, very common to do. So as far as where our higher low is going to be, where the buying area is going to be, that remains to be seen. It depends on this move. We're reaching above the 382 right now. It's extremely common to breach the 382 and then pull back below it. So just don't get too excited, and don't get discouraged if we do get back below the 382. It's entirely possible this is not the low. I expect it to be the low. I'm calling for it to be the low, but haven't we been here before? It could go lower. And as I like to say with most of these low calls that I've made, if it's not the low, and I don't expect it to be the low, but it's worth talking about, 1.25 cents, 1.2 cents, and even prices as low as 0.0088 are possible. They really are. We could go all the way down there, guys, and it's still in go mode, right? We're not in any kind of problems at all. Higher lows overall, finding support at key areas, right? What do I mean by key areas? I mean prior areas. Let's see, it might be best on the 4-hour actually. Prior areas of consolidation here at the base, that's at about 0.0088, right? So as long as we're finding support somewhere within this zone, I'm not worried about XCN at all. I don't think it's in jeopardy at all. Man, someone, who was it? One of the normal trolls on the channel, they were like, whatever, man, it's Justin Sun coin. It's a scam because of that. They said something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but Justin Sun, guys, he didn't get into like somewhere over here or over here. Like Justin Sun got in about as good of a price as most people have since like January, right? He didn't get in a year ago. He called this thing an outright scam on this day here. He probably got in somewhere around this area, literally at these lows. It makes complete sense. You know what? I'm going to say right now, I bet Justin Sun got in at this price, and that's why it's not going lower. He's like, all right, it's back at my buy price, so I'm going to buy right here. Or maybe it's a little bit higher than his buy price, but I guarantee, I would bet my life that, I don't want to bet my life. That felt wrong saying that. I would bet your life, you troll. No, I don't want to bet anybody's life. I would bet a lot, though, that Justin Sun probably bought in this area. And that's probably why we're moving up, right? He and his cronies, or anybody with a lot of money, is probably buying this thing up at the low. Bullish divergence, who knows, right? That's just a little conspiracy thought right there. But from a high here to a low there, the expectation would be that overall, over the coming days, let alone the coming weeks, we're going to see prices at about 2.2 cents. You guys know what that means. We get above 2.2 cents, validated, right? We are validated. We're breaking out of this downtrend. That was the low. It's time to go. I would even say we can start getting excited as early as 2 cents, okay? But you get above the 236 here, you get above this prior high right there at about 1.82 2, let's just say 1.83 cents. You get above there, you're basically 90% guaranteed to at least interact with the 382. Let me say this again, okay? Because I talked about a lot of levels just now. So let me just say this again in order so it's easier to comprehend. And I'm sure a lot of you comprehended it, but you know, some of the trolls have a harder time comprehending things. So let me just explain it for them so that they can understand it. Moving up to the 236, anytime you move to the 236 or get above it, you oftentimes do not go lower. Even if we are expecting lower lows, you oftentimes don't go lower until you at least interact with the 382. It's in rare circumstances that you do stop at the 236, right? I believe that's what we did here. Didn't even go to the 236. So you didn't even hit the 236, right? You have to hit it. That's kind of the stipulation. If you hit the 236, you likely don't go lower until you hit the 382. But here's the deal. If we hit the 236, which is right there at about 1.83 cents, that means we're going to 2.2 cents. And oftentimes with the 382, you go just a little bit above it. I don't care if we go just a little bit above it. I don't care if we go just a little bit below it. If we break above, if we hit 2 cents, let alone 2.2 cents, we're breaking out of this downtrend, okay? I didn't draw it the best from the top, but you can see it's at least on par at the bottom here. Let me use a straight line because I suck at drawing straight lines for whatever reason. Maybe I should stop saying that. I should just say I'm really good at drawing straight lines, and then I will be. But yeah, you get to the 236, man. It's basically not guaranteed, but basically valid that you've broken out of this downtrend. Technically speaking, once you get above this high, I don't know, even above that high, yeah, I guess that would be out of the downtrend because then you're not getting lower highs, now you're getting higher highs. So at any rate, an interaction of this 236, this high right here would basically guarantee that we are breaking out of this downtrend, which means that it's time to start thinking about higher prices beyond just 2.2 cents, right? The golden ratio is at 3 cents to 3.3 cents, and you guys remember what's at 3.1 cents, right? If we look at our LRO indicator here, that's not the indicator tab, this is the indicator tab. LRO, logarithmic regression indicator, the daily time frame here, and we delete this, or maybe we can just look at it, the 3.1 cent target area, that is the invalidation level as defined by this LRO indicator here, that would likely suggest that we are no longer going down, but now we are moving up, right? The downtrend's over, we've invalidated it, we're moving up. In comparison or in culmination with that, you'd be also piercing through the golden ratio if you pierce through this line. So also a signal that you're ready to go higher into the extended areas. Now, where are the extended areas? I'm glad you asked, because if you didn't ask, I probably wouldn't have talked about it. So 7 cents is the minimum target, 11 cents is the maximum target of our primary target zone, okay? Primary does not mean that's what I expect us to go to. It's not the only area, right? Primary as in first, okay? First target zone. We probably don't blast right through this. We probably do find some, oh, come on now. We probably do find some turbulence here or there, right? And then once we break above the golden ratio, we gain access instead of our primary target zone, we're in our secondary target zone, all the way up to the 2618 down to the 1886, somewhere in this area. And that minimum target of the secondary target zone, which I expect we're going to get to. Let me say this before we talk about this, and I know I've said this basically every single video for the last month now, but I'm going to say it again so that we're very clear. The minimum target is 11 cents. Okay, it could stop at 10 to 11 cents. It's very possible. Let's address that, right? You really could. If you're expecting prices up here and that's it, and you're not taking anything else other than that, you will miss an opportunity to sell if we do stop at 11 cents. So we'll be aware. We'll be looking at the indicators and seeing what the market looks like, how long it takes and everything like that. But if this thing performs the way I expect it to, we'll likely break above 11 cents. And a break above 11 cents at a minimum would suggest 15.5 cents is where we're going to go. Why? Because that's the minimum target of your secondary zone. Primary, secondary. You break above the primary high, you get to the secondary target. The maximum of the secondary level is at 40 cents. Now, I don't believe that we're going to stop there. I don't believe we're going to stop at 40 cents any more than I believe we're going to stop at 7 cents, 8 cents. I genuinely do believe we could stop at 11 cents, but I am expecting 15 to 18 cents being the area. The highest that I could see happening would be 40 cents, but I don't really accept that as a possibility, or I should say a probability. I accept it as a possibility, not as a probability. Words, man, they're so much fun. 2272 would be my maximum kind of expectation. 25, 26 cents, somewhere around there. It's fairly common to go just above the 2272. So, you know, maybe even as high as 30 cents, but I'm personally in favor of this 18 to 15.5 cent area. That's kind of my expectations personally. It's time to start getting excited about that once we move up, right? Once we start seeing higher highs. Well, obviously it's time to get excited once we move up. Let me rephrase that. It's time to get excited about that once we get above this high here, which has an invalidation level on it, right? It's time to get excited about those targets once we get above 2 cents, 2.2 cents. Why? Because we're breaking out of this downtrend. And when you break out of a downtrend like this and we look at it for what it is, right, it really is just a bull flag. So breaking out of a trend like this would imply that we're going to see a move of a similar magnitude. If you believe in bull flags, you believe in what they do. I do believe in bull flags. I do. You would see, I would call that the low of the pattern. Let's not though. Let's be conservative. It's a super big pattern. Let's just be conservative. Let's say that's the low of the pattern to the high here. A 3-day time frame makes it look more like a bull flag. The daily, this is still a bull flag, right? It's just I'm trying to shut up anybody who's like, it's not a bull flag, it's got a consolidation phase in the middle. No, it's still the same move, man. This is all one move. It's just a little pause in the middle, right? Just like this was all one move, but there's little pauses here or there, right? That literally last the same exact amount of time. You wouldn't say that this is multiple moves. It's one move down, right? One move up. That's just how it is. But on the 3-day time frame, it's a little bit more obvious. So bull flag. The flag pole, you put it to the base of the flag here. The target area would be right there at about 24 cents, which is at the maximum area that I expect us to go to. I'm genuinely thinking we go to about 15.5 to 18 cents, but if we see a 24 cent or 25 cent price, that wouldn't surprise me at all. From the current price, not from the low, but from the current price, that would be about a 15, 16x, you guys. I don't know about you, but I'm all right with that. That would be okay with me, man. Lower lows in the weekly, or sorry, the 3-day RSI. We have higher lows in the price, lower lows in the RSI. That is hidden bullish divergence, okay? 19 hours left in this 3-day. I bet we come up. I bet we close this 3-day green. We're down 7%. I bet we do by the end of today. Just a little dip below the 50. That's okay. You know what? XCN, it doesn't really respect its 50. You can see. And the 50 generally is respected. A good rule of thumb, the 50 on the RSI is something that you respect across all charts. But not every chart does respect it. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But if you look at this, it looks like, okay, here, respected it once or twice in your early days, right? Whenever you don't have anything else to go off of. But now that you have a little personality for yourself, you're like, I don't really care about the 50. I'm going to find the 55 as resistance. I don't care about the 50 as support. I'm going to go to the 44, right? It doesn't, stuff like this happens. And that's okay. This is actually, I mean, relatively speaking to this chart specifically, this is actually the exact area that you would expect to find support. Not at the 50, but just below it or just above it. So that looks good to me. Also with, I mean, obviously, the higher lows here in the RSI, that's always good. Getting overbought, not getting oversold, these are all good things, right? I know this is stuff that I say in almost every video for various charts, but I like to reiterate this stuff so that it really drives home the analysis that I'm giving here, because I know a lot of you appreciate my thoughts, and a lot of you, I hear so many people talking about how they're learning how to read charts and stuff like that, and I love that. Be aware, you guys, if you're learning how to read charts, you're probably going to do it wrong, right, in the beginning years. Just as someone who's been doing this for 8 years myself, you think that you know how to do things very well at first, but it's very technical. That's why they call it technical analysis. You'll think you know what I'm saying. You'll think you know how to do this, and that's why I'm so descriptive, because I want you to know. And even if I'm as descriptive as I can be, you might hear something differently than how I'm meaning it, right? Lower lows here and higher lows here can be misinterpreted under the wrong eye, but it just takes time, man. You're gonna get it. You know, whoever you are out there, don't get discouraged if you're doing things. And on that note, by the way, technical analysis, you're not gonna be 100% right. It's for an edge. It's for an edge. So if you go into technical analysis and you expect that you're just gonna be a prophet and predict everything right, that's not the case. That's not how it's gonna happen. It's just to give you an edge. It's statistical probability. Probability means you will be wrong inevitably. It's gonna happen. So really, technical analysis is an edge. If you want to become a good trader or a good investor, what you need to do is temper your emotional state, right? Having the edge is nice. It gives you indications and stuff like that as to when or where certain profit-taking areas and buying points could be. It helps with those decisions, right? But when it comes to being wrong, it's not technical analysis that's going to save you. It's you that's going to save you. You need to be tempered. You need to be okay with being wrong, and you need to know how to be wrong. Some of us, speaking from personal experience, you got to get the hell beat out of you before you know how to be wrong. And even then, sometimes I definitely don't know how to be wrong. Sometimes you just eat it, man. It just depends. But I'm getting off on a whole nother topic here. I want to finish this video. Okay, so 1.5 cents now. Certainly looks like we're on our way higher. I like the 4-hour RSI. I don't like the 4-hour RSI, but I like the bullish divergence. If we can get, I'll say this, if we can get above the 60 on a 4-hour basis and maintain above the 60, especially if we get overbought, it's game on, you guys. We're doing something different than we have in a long time. We'd be breaking out of our downtrend. It would be very exciting. So I'm curious to see how today ends. I'm hoping that by tomorrow's video, or by at least tomorrow night's video, I'll be able to have some more bullish input here. If not, we'll be around the same areas, and we'll just be waiting. We'll be waiting for that next movement up. Maybe if we reject, we could even talk about going lower, but time will tell. We'll see how it goes. If you guys like the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I fully expect, being here at 1.5 cents, that XCN is going to move up to about 15.5 to 18 cents, maybe even 20 cents, somewhere around there, 25 cents at the highest. It's completely possible it could move up to 40 cents, but I don't think that's going to happen. And then by the end of the cycle, we're looking for targets that are anywhere from about 80 cents to prices that are above $2, right? And $2.40, I'm not talking about that because that's what I expect to happen. I want to be clear. That's the maximum expectation. Everything that I've said, 84 cents to $2.40, that's what I expect. Somewhere in that zone. Minimum, maximum. My expectations don't mean anything, right? I mean, maybe they mean something, but they don't mean anything to the chart. The chart's going to do whatever it wants. If it wants to stop below those levels, if it wants to go beyond those levels, it can. But to me, it would make the most sense that we stop somewhere in that area. 240 would be the maximum of that area. 84 cents would be the minimum. So statistically speaking, on that premise alone, I would say that we're likely not going to hit either of those numbers, but rather land somewhere in between, okay? But at any rate, I definitely expect phenomenal growth for this thing by the end of the cycle. Certainly a 100xable coin and beyond. I don't got anything else to say. Just wanted to give the old speech there. I don't know. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy. Bye-bye.